Welcome to Godwin's Drama Department.
This half-an-hour program takes a look at Godwin's Drama Department through the play As You Like It and Godwin's own short pump players.
This production takes you through the entire process, starting from the auditions, taking you through the practices, and finishing with the final production.
And what we're going to do tonight is first tell you a little bit about As You Like It. As You Like It is Shakespeare's pastoral comedy. It's set in France. It's the story of one duke who's a bad guy, who's banished the good duke to go live in the forest with his people. There's also the story of a young boy named Orlando, and Orlando is the third son. And at this time period, the third son would have to go be a member of the clergy. The second son was in the military, and the first son would inherit it, everything. So this is his story, Orlando's story. He falls in love with a girl named Rosalind. Rosalind's father has been banished and lives in the country. But Rosalind stays at court with her cousin, Cecilia. And things happen, and they end up hiding in the forest. Rosalind is a woman, but she also plays the role of Ganymede, a man. What we're going to do is go through and hand out scenes. You'll go out in the hall and practice them, and then in a half an hour, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, whenever you feel like you're ready, you'll come back in and sit on that side. All right? We'll have you go on stage and come up and read your scene. And after you've read your scene, I might ask you to stay. Normally, not ask you to leave, say you can go home. Normally, what it is, the guys are going to have to stay because there's always more girls than guys, and you may have to read guys and girls scenes with some people. So the guys will probably have to stay more than the girls. The other thing is, after tonight, you don't have to come tomorrow afternoon. We have more auditions on Wednesday afternoon. And on Thursday, we'll post a callback sheet. And hopefully on Friday afternoon, we'll have callbacks. And the cast list, I hope, will go up Monday morning. And the first rehearsal will be Monday night.
So, this is the script for tonight.
Yeah, Shakespeare, hard stuff, huh?
Whew, you said it. Man. Sure glad we didn't have to do it,
I know, thank goodness.
Woo. Oh, hi, I'm Leah, and this is Adam, and we're just here to tell you a little bit about the audition process and what it takes to audition and what the different steps are that you have to go through. It can be a very intimidating process, but it can also be very rewarding for somebody who maybe has never thought of getting on stage before. They might find that this is their niche.
Definitely, definitely. And for the newcomers, sometimes trials, when they get up on stage, it can be quite nerve-wracking. Sometimes it takes a couple auditions to really get into the groove. Sometimes your first audition may be absolutely horrible, but if you go through that experience, then next time you do it, it gets a lot easier. You're more comfortable with yourself and with your peers, and you tend to do a lot better. Isn't that right, Leah?
Yeah, it's something you can use in your everyday life. I mean, drama, the skills that you learn in drama are things that are going to pop up everywhere. Public speaking is a very necessary skill in life, and it's a wonderful thing to learn and a place to get over that fear. And it's something that you can prove to yourself that you can do it.
Bars me the place of a brother.
In auditions, we're looking for projection, how far your voice can go and carry, how well you can make the words come to life, because an actor paints pictures but only has words to use for his color. We're also looking for gestures. Are they believable? Does the character have the physicalization necessary to make this person come to life? And we've tried doing that tonight with our improvisations, being goats and sheep and trees with post-it notes put on it. But when they're doing their scenes, are they stuck to looking at the script? Are they ready to look up and get away from it? How fast are they picking up the words? I was surprised by the number of people that came tonight. We had 58 people audition for a first set of auditions for a show. And that's exciting to me because we had many freshmen and there were lots of good freshman auditions. And there were some good upper class auditions too as well. So no decisions have been made, and it won't be until we finish the audition process. We'll go through the whole thing again on a second day of auditions, and maybe we'll have to have callbacks to make the final casting. We're looking for the physical types to be the characters. How does the child move? Does the child move as an old person? Does he move as a teenager? He, she move as a teenager? Are they too young moving? Do they have any idea how to carry the weight that they need to for the character? And all of this stuff. So it's an interesting process that we look at, and then we start making cuts. And I have other people helping me. I'm not the only one that does it. So that's the best thing, that it's a group process when we try to do auditions, because one person has an idea of what they want, but it takes other people to maybe make that one person see another side of someone.
It's another audition that you hope to God that you will get. I mean, it's the basis of everything that you're going to do. If you don't get an audition, then you're never going to get into a show, and you're never going to make your dreams come true.
Well, I've been doing this since my freshman year at tryout. I haven't gotten the part yet, but I'm bound and determined. I'm going to do it.
I thought it went pretty well. I had a really good partner with my read-through, and I hope it went well. I had a couple trouble with some of the monologues in there, but I think in the end it all came out okay.
Well, I think I did really good. I messed up on a few words, but I knew that I was just out there and I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it to the best of my ability, and whether they like it or not, I did it.
Yeah! Now audition's finally over.
Yeah, now comes the grueling work of rehearsals, where the play really comes alive.
Oh, man.
We have about 12 more rehearsals to go through, and these rehearsals will be working on different scenes, making sure the cast knows their lines in the scene, and making it click, making the things start to fit together, the puzzle take its shape, so to speak. We'll be doing this up until the week of the show, and on that Monday night we'll be in our costumes for the first time with the lights. They'll get the set in 2 weeks, and they'll get to try doing all these moves and making sure they can come in and get there. And we'll be working on making them learn their lines, which is the hardest thing to do sometimes.
I believe you all have a really wonderful opportunity here to work on this play because it is a comedy, but it also has some very interesting and provocative themes going on in it. So tonight, if you are not on stage, I would highly recommend that you might want to sit down and pass these around, share them, kind of start to browse through them. Mostly you'll use this if you need to look up any unfamiliar words. But these two books in particular may provide some interesting insights into the themes and the ideas behind the play. In particular, Harold Bloom's book kind of provides his little take on what Shakespeare had in mind when he created these characters.
Okay, well, since the auditions, we've moved on to doing blocking, which is where they place us in the parts of the stage that they want us to move about in, where we need to enter, etc. And then we start working on lines, we start reading through the script, and by doing that, helping to form characterizations and other such things, and just sort of becoming familiar and getting more into the vibe of what the play is looking for. The cast sits down and we sit down in a circle while Mr. Damron goes over the blocking, and more specifically where he wants each of us to move, and he kind of gives each of us our own specific blocking as to where we need to move around on the stage and where we need to enter, etc.
So fare you well, I have left you commands. All right? I will not fail, nor I, and everybody splits. All right? And the way you're going to split is Phoebe up the platform down the steps. Sylvius in hot pursuit up the platform down the steps. Orlando back off down right, and you that way.
They were reading their lines, writing down their blocking, And we just went through the script once, writing down the blocking, and in a few minutes after we get out of our circle, we're gonna go and actually run through the scene with the blocking through the script, so we see how it looks, and if it needs to make any changes, then that's gonna need to be handled tonight.
It's tiring. I mean, it was good to make it through the auditions, but it's a lot of work right now. We're all kind of pulling together and trying to get through this with very few rehearsals. So. We've only had a few, but we're supposed to be off book already. Damron's kind of putting a tight hold on all of us, but I think we can get it done.
Tonight, we just pretty much stand around and follow around our Duke's feet. But yeah,
no, he's not my Duke. My Duke's Philip.
Yeah, but he's my Duke. And
Philip's not here.
but during Act 2, we do a lot more stuff. And during other acts, we do more stuff.
And when he's a goat, I'm a lady and
I'm a lord. But we're not each other's ladies and lords. Both of our partners are absent.
Our mates are
are absent. So we're each other's honorary partners tonight.
Blocking helps to communicate to the audience physicalities. Sometimes when you're doing Shakespeare, it's kind of hard for the audience to understand every word you're saying. If you have good blocking, then that sometimes helps the audience to understand exactly what you're doing on the stage. Yeah, characterization is a big part right now in this step. Trying to find out what your character is doing throughout all the scenes. And that way, when you memorize your lines, you know how to present your lines. Later when it counts, when we do our dress rehearsals. And that's probably the biggest part right now is characterization and blocking. And we've been working every night.
Playing Audrey, who is a country wench.
And I'm Sylvia's, a shepherd who is in love with the girl who hates him.
Wow! And we are both doing Southern accents for this show.
Yeehaw!
Yeah. Shakespeare with a Southern twang.
This is Southern France.
Southern France. The show is coming up in a month. No, nothing. I mean, we don't have that much time left, and the fact that we're sitting around doing nothing is a bad thing. So, yeah.
We'll be ready.
Yeah, we'll be ready.
I'm playing a male character. I play Duke Sr., exiled by his evil brother. Since the audition, I have read over my lines once or twice and come to a couple of the meetings to get blocking. That's about it. I think I even memorized some of them, but...
Between now and the performance, we'll be working more thoroughly on lines, working until we have them thoroughly memorized, and then having our blocking thoroughly memorized so each of us knows where to go on stage and working characterization. Then we'll go more thoroughly into just running the script and again and running through the show each night so that we can get it down. And by the end, hopefully we'll have a well-oiled show.
Basically, we've blocked the scenes and then run them, make sure everybody knows where they're going on stage.
Yeah, that's pretty much all we've done so far. Haven't had a run yet. Got to finish blocking everything. We're finishing that up tonight. Then we'll run Act 5 tonight after we finish blocking it, and then tomorrow we'll go into rehearsals. Just get a feel for what you got to do and get a feel for your character and who you're working with on stage. That's what'll help out the show the best.
It's actually not that much time this year to rehearse. We never rehearse on Fridays. We've cut back a lot, so it seems like a lot, but for a long Shakespearean play, it's really not that much rehearsal time at all. Usually the plays here end up coming together within the last week or so. It's pretty amazing, actually, because up until then, if you came to see it, it's a big mess, but the last week it always
comes together.
We pull it off.
I don't know. I'm considering it as a career, but you know, for right now, it's just a lot of fun to do in high school.
Well, I mean, me personally, after being a senior, it's the family.
Yeah,
we get a family by doing it, and it's great because you don't have to be home, and you get a whole nother community of people to be with every night.
At this point in the show, the main thing that the lead characters need to focus on is memorizing lines. It's probably the most important part right now for the lead characters, so that when we have the rehearsals, they don't need their scripts. They can concentrate more on their blocking with the lines already memorized.
Well, we're going to get ready to go to rehearsals now.
This evening's rehearsal, we finished blocking as you liked it. which means we put all the actors on stage in their places. And now we start in with all the work of making them understand the lines and making their movement go with what they're saying. It's the fun part of rehearsals now, and that the mind begins to work because the body knows where it's supposed to be. That's it. Other than being extremely tired, and so most of the cast are tired, we haven't had long rehearsals, but I think we're ready to make this show take off. There's a lot of fun things going on and a lot of different characters, and the growth from auditions to now is pretty amazing.
It's kind of nerve-wracking, but I think we're ready for it. We've been really practicing hard for it. I'm playing Audrey. She's the country wench. It's a really fun part to play. Well, we've all put a lot of time into this. We've been rehearsing practically every night. Not the weekends, though, not Fridays. And it's 3-hour rehearsals, and plus all the time we put in after school, just memorizing our lines and blocking and just working on our characters, basically. And we're ready for it. I think we're ready for it, definitely. I think it's going to be good. I have a feeling that it's going to be the best show we've put on so far.
Always on opening night, there's this rush of adrenaline that we see things that we've never seen before as they start responding to the audience and having an audience in front of them, and this excitement of being first night. And that's great because it lets them know what's funny and what's not funny, and it will take them into a different level from what they've been in rehearsal, so they'll keep going.
I'm Duke Frederick. Basically what I did was I kicked out Duke Sr., my brother, and I took over everything.
That's me.
Yeah, he's Duke Sr. I kicked him out, take over everything. I keep his daughter for my daughter, like, as like a playmate for my daughter. And eventually in the play, I get mad at his daughter. I kick her out, and then my daughter, who is bonded with her, wants to be banished with her too. And pretty much that's the last straw when I start sending out like a henchman after them. Getting the trying to understand the wording is really confusing, and it's just really tricky to get the hang of saying what he has to say.
I want to see focus, concentration, making all their entrances, remembering their lines, and giving me no reason to go hide somewhere when they start messing up. Because usually when the kids mess up, it's not like a football game. They can call timeout and make changes. I can't. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing, you don't feel any more helpless than you do as a director when your cast suddenly forgets something.
Okay, I'm just putting his makeup on, the beard. I'm gonna put on the bass and age lines because he's supposed to play an older character. So, has to look old. I put on the bass, and that's what this is. And then put on blush, lipstick, and eyeliner, and then to do the age lines and the highlight that goes with them. It really depends on what the person has to have done. Like if it's just simple makeup, like the ordinary stuff where you just put on the base and the blush, the eyeliner and everything, it only takes about 5 minutes. But if you have to do like his face, it takes maybe about 10, 15.
It's definitely come a long ways, and these kids have been working very hard and slogging through the verse. But they have shown a great deal of energy and commitment to this show. And also they've brought a lot of great ideas in terms of integrating the comedy along with some of the drama that's inherent in the plot. And they've also provided some good ideas with some of the characters and some of the music for the show. So I could say I'm pretty pleased with their final output here. Inherently, it's every show that we do here at Godwin is going to have a different energy, different style, a different feel to it. Definitely I hope they take away hopefully a deeper appreciation for Shakespeare the ideas and the poetry and the power that comes out in his verse and in the creation of his characters. That is what his genius is most recognized for.
You can't stop the show for anything unless the lights go out and then we stop the show. You know, and there's one intermission, and we hope we get all the way through the intermission before we have to stop for any reason, and we've never stopped a show before. So that's the whole thing. The light board can mess up on us sometimes and give us cues that we're not looking forward to, and they're back in the booth punching buttons to try to make them come back where they belong.
Here we are on stage with Godwin just before the show.
Join us for tonight's performance as we show you selected scenes from As You Like It by William Shakespeare.
Good morrow to your worship. Good Monsieur Charles. What's the new news from the new court? Well, there's no new news, sir, but the old news, that is the old Duke, has been banished by his younger brother, the new Duke. And 3 or 4 loving lords have put themselves into voluntary exile for him, whose lands and revenues enrich the new Duke, therefore he gives them good leave to wander. Can you tell if Rosalind, the Duke's daughter, be banished with her father? Oh, for the Duke's daughter, her cousin so loves her, being ever from their cradles bred together, that she would have followed her exile or have died to stay behind her. She is at the court, and no less beloved of her uncle than his own daughter, and never two ladies loved as they do.
Do, young sir, your reputation shall not therefore be misprized. We will make it our suit to the Duke that the wrestling might not therefore ensue.
I beseech you, punish me not with your hard thoughts, wherein I confess me much guilty to deny so fair and excellent ladies anything. Let your fair eyes and gentle wishes go with me in my trial, wherein if I be foiled, there is but one shame that was never gracious. If killed, one dead that is willing to be so. I shall do my friends no wrong, for I have none to lament me. The world no injury, for in it I have nothing. Only in the world do I fill the place, which may be better supplied when I've made it empty.
Ah, dear.
And they pity her. Thou art a fool. She robs thee of thy name. Thou wilt show more bright, and seem more virtuous when she is gone. Then open not thy lips. Firm and irrevocable is my doom which I have passed upon her. She is banished.
Pronounce the next sentence on me, my liege. I cannot live without her company.
You are a fool. You, niece, provide yourself. If you outstay the time, upon mine honor and in greatness of my word, you die. Go and find him out, and we will nothing waste till you return.
I thank ye, and be blessed for your good comfort.
Thou seest we are not all alone unhappy. This wide and universal theater presents more woeful pageants than the scene wherein we play it.
All the world is a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first, the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms, and then the whining schoolboy, with satchel and shining morning face creeping like snail and willingly to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace with a woeful ballad made to his mistress on eyebrow. And then the soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation, even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, in fair round belly with good cape and lined, full of wide saws and modern instances. And so he plays his part. The 6th age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side, his youthful hose well shaved a world too wide for his shrunk shape. And his big, manly voice, turning again towards childish revel, whistles and pipes in sound. The
the last scene of all, to end this strange, eventful history, is second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
Oh, welcome! Set down your venerable burden and let him feed.
Thank you most, Lord. I scarce can speak to thank you for myself.
Welcome, sit and feed. I will not trouble you as yet to question you about your fortunes. Give us music and good cousins, sing.
Well, wherever sorrow is, relief would be. And if you do sorrow at my grief and love, by giving love, your sorrow and my grief, both exterminated.
Oh, I feel thou hast my love. Is that not neighborly?
I would have you.
That were covetousness. Silvius, the time was that I hated thee, and it's not yet that I bear thee love, but since thou canst talk of love so well, thy company which erst was irksome to me, I will endure, and I employ thee too.
Will thou have me?
Aye, Fridays, Saturdays, and all.
And what sayst thou?
Are you not good?
I hope so.
Well, then could one desire too much of a good thing? I say, take my hand, Orlando, and will you, sister, marry us?
Pray thee, marry us.
I cannot say the words.
You must begin, will you, Orlando?
I'm going to. Will you, Orlando, have to wife this Rosalind?
I will.
Aye, but when?
Why now? As fast as she can marry us.
Then you must say, I take thee, Rosalind, for a wife.
I take thee, Rosalind, for wife.
Is this not a rare fellow, my lord? He's as good at anything, and yet a fool.
He uses his folly as a stalking horse, and beneath the presentation of that, he shoots his wit.
Then is there mirth in heaven when earthly things made even atone together. Good do. Receive thy daughter, highly from heaven brought her, yea, brought her hither. Thou mightst join her hand in his, whose heart within his bosom is.
To you I give myself, for I am yours. To you I give myself, for I am yours.
If there be truth in sight, you are my daughter.
If there be truth in sight, you are my Rosalind.
If sight and shape be true, when then my love I do.
Why do we do William Shakespeare in a high school? It helps with the SOLs, believe it or not, because Shakespeare's mentioned in them in some of the tests and things, but it also helps them appreciate the language and its development. They learn a lot about puns, wordplay, poetry, everything as we're going through. So that's really, really the important, interesting thing on what they're doing with this. So to see them master this language and perform it not in rhyming couplets or iambic pentameter or the measured feet that their English teachers pound into their heads, but to perform it as if they were speaking the language, which is the way it was written. It makes it much more exciting, and it comes more to life for everybody, the actors and the audience.
Well, there you have it, a look at Godwin's own production of As You Like It.
Now, although it is fun to perform, it really means nothing without the audience. So come and support your local high school as they endeavor in their fall and spring productions.